Judge mocked a black teenager in court and was shocked to learn she's a genius attorney in disguise. The courtroom wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. The tension sat heavy in the air. Polished wood, stiff suits, quiet murmurs fading as the judge entered. Everyone stood. Everyone except her. A black teenage girl stood near the defense table, hands folded calmly in front of her, wearing a simple hoodie and sneakers, completely out of place in a room ruled by tradition and authority. The judge glanced down at the docket, then up at her. He paused, then frowned. "And who are you supposed to be?" he asked, his tone sharp with irritation. A few people in the gallery exchanged looks. The girl didn't flinch. Before she could answer, the judge leaned back in his chair and let out a short laugh. "This is a courtroom," he said, "not a school field trip." Soft chuckles rippled through the room. The prosecutor smirked. A clerk looked away uncomfortably. The judge tapped his gavel once. "If you're here with a lawyer, have them speak. Otherwise, you need to sit down." The girl raised her eyes, steady, focused. "I am speaking for myself," she said calmly. That earned louder laughter. The judge shook his head. "You're telling me you're representing someone. At your age?" She nodded. The judge sighed, clearly annoyed now. "This court doesn't have time for games," he said. "Do you even understand what an objection is?" The girl opened her mouth, but the judge cut her off. "Enough." He glanced toward the bailiff. "Please explain to her how this works." The bailiff hesitated, because something about this wasn't right. The girl hadn't argued, hadn't raised her voice, hadn't shown fear. She stood there, like she belonged. A man in the second row leaned toward the woman beside him. "Isn't that her?" he whispered. The woman squinted. "No, it can't be." At the defense table, the accused man, clearly nervous, looked at the girl with trust, not confusion. The judge noticed this. "Why does he look so confident?" The judge muttered. He adjusted his glasses and finally allowed her to speak. "Name?" She took a breath. "My name is Maya Johnson." The name landed quietly, too quietly. A clerk stopped typing. The judge's expression changed, just slightly, because he'd heard that name before, but not from a teenager. "And your role here?" he asked cautiously now. Maya met his eyes. "I'm here to challenge the admissibility of the evidence you just allowed." The room went still. "On what grounds?" the judge asked, skepticism dripping from every word. She didn't hesitate. "Fourth Amendment violation. Unlawful search. No warrant. No consent." The prosecutor sat up straight. The judge blinked. "Because that was correct." The judge leaned forward slowly. "Who taught you that?" Maya's voice remained calm. "The law did." A murmur spread through the courtroom. The judge looked down at the file again, then back at her. For the first time, he wasn't smiling. Because whatever this was, it wasn't a joke anymore. And the truth about who Maya Johnson really was, and why she was dressed like a teenager in his courtroom, was about to turn this entire case upside down. But that revelation, the courtroom was no longer amused. The judge stared at Maya Johnson, his fingers tightening around the gavel. "Young lady," he said slowly, "where exactly did you study constitutional law?" Maya didn't rush her answer. "Harvard Law School," she replied. A laugh almost escaped the judge's mouth, but it died before it reached his lips, because no one else laughed. The prosecutor froze. The clerk stopped typing. Even the bailiff straightened. "That's not possible," the judge said, his voice sharper now. "Harvard doesn't admit teenagers." Maya nodded. "They don't," she said. "They admit attorneys." She reached into her bag and placed a slim folder on the table. Inside it, a bar certification card, a federal court admission letter, and a sealed document stamped U.S. Department of Justice. The judge's face drained of color. He adjusted his glasses again, hands slightly shaking, and leaned forward to read. The courtroom held its breath. Maya continued, her voice steady. "I graduated high school at 13. Completed law school at 18. Passed the bar on my first attempt." She paused. "Today, I'm observing this court under a federal judicial conduct review program." Charatian and Beats, silence, absolute silence. The judge swallowed hard, because now he understood. This wasn't a test of her knowledge. It was a test of him. Maya met his eyes. And before the court, she continued, dismisses someone based on appearance. I wanted to see how the law would be applied. The judge leaned back slowly. His earlier laughter echoed in his own mind. Now humiliating. The prosecutor cleared his throat. Your Honor, he said quietly, the defense's objection is valid. The judge nodded stiffly. Evidence is suppressed, he announced. Case dismissed. The gavel struck once, but no one moved. The judge looked back at Maya. His voice was no longer mocking. Ms. Johnson, I owe you an apology. Maya didn't smile. She simply replied, the law doesn't need apologies. It needs fairness. She turned and walked out. Behind her, the courtroom remained frozen, because everyone there had just witnessed something unforgettable. A judge who thought he held all the power, and a teenager who proved that justice doesn't wear a uniform. The doors closed.